Hello. Today I would like to talk about a little bit more special RC cars, wheelie cars, or fun cars. There are quite a few of them from various manufacturers, but these cars are not very popular like racing and bashing cars, but I really like these small, cute cars. I like driving them a lot. Today I would like to talk about this Kyosho Pedal Popper Nitro wheelie car. This one is a very special for me. I was looking for this car for a very long time. This is a one rare occasion when a wheelie car is a Nitro. I have a lot of wheelie cars, mostly from Tamiya. Here you can see Tamiya WR02G tractor, WR02 Wild Wheelie, there are also on-road versions of wheelie cars, like this Honda City. All wheelie cars have wheelie bars, so that they can go fast and cheerful with the front lifted. This car is quite a rare one, interesting one. It's a solid axle, two-wheel drive monster truck from Sen, manufacturer called Sen. Very fun vehicle to drive. Now let's go back to Kyosho. A little story. First wheelie car was manufactured by Tamiya in 1980s. It was Wild Wheelie, the first one. I showed you the second version. And Tamiya had quite a few wheelie cars back in the day. Lunchbox is probably the most known. But Kyosho didn't have such cars, and sometime at 1988 they decided to make first electric wheelie cars. After 10 years they made another batch of wheelie cars, electric and nitro cars. They called them smoking wheelie. The electric cars came with the generic body, not licensed one like Tamiya did, and these bodies were quite simple and not very attractive. Here you can see this is the electric wheelie called Trail Blaster from 1998. It is a sibling car to this one, but it has electric motor. You can see the chassis and electric motor in the rear. So the Nitro wheelie shares the same chassis and suspension parts like the previous I showed you, but it has a nitro engine instead of an electric engine. The car has a plastic chassis. It has a Formula One like suspension in the front, where only wheels go very little, and it has no suspension in the rear. It's a solid axle bolted to the chassis, and it has a differential. The engine on this car is a Kyosho GT12. It's a 0.12 engine, or about 2 cubic centimeters. It has a standard Kyosho fuel tank. The engine has a single needle carburetor, very simple one. The engine is quite slow, and also there is some difficulty when trying to pop the wheelies. Because of the single needle carb, you have to clear out the engine first if you want to get the torque to pop the wheelie. Otherwise, the front will not lift. When I got this car, I got it from Belgium. It had no body and a few missing parts. It had only original rear wheels and no frontal wheels. The original wheels, like on this one, are very fun. They have a very small rim, very high tire sidewall, and they are very, very plush. This makes part of the suspension in the rear. But since I had no such wheels, I have adapted Formula 1 wheels. You can see here. Visually they look very similar, but they are much more firmer. But they have a good grip, but the rear end bounces a lot more. You can see here we have some blue parts. Since this model had several missing parts, I designed a few parts and printed them. First of all, you can see this blue spur gear. The original spur gear was worn out, but I wanted to drive it, so I gave it a try to make a 3D printed gear. As you can see, it turned quite okay. It's made from a simple PLA plastic, and what's interesting, I have driven some 10 tanks and it doesn't show any signs of wear. Fortunately, there is a large gear pitch, so it's easier to make these gears. For making 3D printed parts, I used Fusion 360. Fusion 360 has an inbuilt plugin for making gears. You have to give your gear diameter, your count of teeth, your pitch, some other details, and it makes the gear sketch automatically. Then you have to extrude it, add other details like this position for a pin, maybe some holes and other stuff. I made a few more parts. There is this small red servo mounting part. This white part, I made it myself. It was not an original part, but when you twist the wheels, they can overshoot and stuck in this position. So I made a limiter for steering. It just hits the turnbuckle and stops the wheel from over twisting. These two blue parts are for the body I came up. I will talk about the body soon. I want to finish about the chassis. Chassis itself is plastic, and it has this interesting metal aluminium part where you bolt on the engine. This is a battery pack. It should be attached with rubber bands originally. This is my receiver. This model also has a brakes. Brakes are here on the spur. Simply there's a brake pad which engages the spur. I added a little bit of sandpaper as a brake pad. Since this model came with no body and original body is a little bit too generic and toyish looking, very cartoony, and I really like license bodies, I came up with the idea that I really wanted to put on the Volkswagen van, the hippie van body. This car has a 17 centimeter wheelbase, which is the same as Tamiya WR02 wheelie cars. So this body was released as a Tamiya kit. You can buy body separately, so I bought it, and I wanted to come up with some idea of mounting the body. Since this body is very tall, I didn't want to make tall body mounts. The original ones here are quite short. So I made these two long parts which attaches the body through the sides. Since this is a single needle carb, and when you turn on the engine, you have quite a little time for idling until the model gets very rich and fuel chokes the engine. So I wanted to do like this. If I start the engine and I put the body as quickly as possible, and off we go. So this body, you just spread it a little and mount it like this, and you simply go. I don't use body mounts afterwards. Here, this body have a hatch for the engine. I cut it, bent it over, because this wheelie car has the engine in the right position. It fits this Volkswagen very nicely. What else I did? There's a wheelie driver inside. I 3D printed the mounting for him. Also, I 3D printed lenses for LEDs here for the rear. And I wired up the LEDs. And what I did, you can see these are floating magnets, red and black, and we have two magnets here. What happens is that when I slap on the body, it also connects the electricity to the lights by pulling the magnets, and that's all. You have lights. So it's a very quick way. You don't have to use such plugs for the body, for the lights. I really like this quick way of starting to drive your Nitro with some added lights. Since the rear wheels have quite some offset, I 3D printed these over fenders, so it would look more cool. So this is my Volkswagen Kyosho Wheelie, one of a kind. I have a video in my channel running this car. I will put a very short footage from that video in this video, but I will give you a link to my another video where you can watch this little car running. Thank you for watching. See you in the future.